there's pressure that comes with the block. You could end up inside of a box when you get your knob buzzed by a op. After getting set up by a thought, opportunity it doesn't knock. No, that sound right there be the cops. Yep. And all of that stress that we talking still beats punching the clock. You think I wanna sweep your floor from 8 to 4? Fuck, I wanna take your orders for when your favorite star got an Audemars that's worth more than mama's car. Type of shit make you wanna say fuck the law. When your rent's due and your piss poor, nigga, we don't even own our own corner store. So quarter waters cost a quarter more, huh? Wanna be an entrepreneur? We want sign checks. Man, we want work for ourselves. We want on the next. You're too much of a threat when you're on your own assets. So the only thing they show us is how to be an outlet. Jehovah, whip up a rover. Been watching Power, Tommy and Ghost, bruh. So I need some powder, fish scale and soda for 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Breaking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, make it make sense. Breaking soda's only 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Breaking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, make it make sense. Yeah. See, the money is the motive. Repeat my history, crack cocaine is like the motif. It's plain and simple, way back then my mother hustled. It's in my blood, so I feel like it's time to grind. Just like the times when niggas died. Hold up, back then was the bad days. Motherfuckers push mad weight, I was a crack baby. Tell me nothing about my mother and the struggle. See, I love you and as long as she was smoking, she hustle. Selling everything in the house, goddamn. She ain't give a damn about the scouts, goddamn. So my oldest brother had to man up, had to take care of us in the piece with 4 kids. The one on the way with no flip, no food in the fridge, don't support shit. Got food stamps from the neighbors. Ty work, ain't ask no favors. Late night, he was shot bodegas. Over bread, it's a me, some mayo. Kool-Aid had about 4 flavors. And when time went to cash out, Aki lashed out. Told him he'd take food stamps. $15 for that kid, fuck all that shit. Then the young nigga noticed that it could be the coldest. Take back what they owed us. Whole world on the shoulders. No food in the kitchen but the stove work. $10 in the sack and he points to the back, say, let me get that soda. 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Breaking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Breaking soda's only 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Breaking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Yeah. So let me get this shit straight. So I gotta go take out loans to go to school, to get a job, just to pay for the loans I took out in the first place. I'm looking at this arm and hammer like I should have a hammer in my arm right goddamn now. Shit ain't make no sense. Lord, make it make sense. Goddamn. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Hey, it's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Baking soda's only 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Yeah.
Lashawan needs to Israel. Madiam, Wapanya, Akodam. Descend, face the east. Lord's Prayer, first in Hebrew, then in English. Abanawa,
Abanawa,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Qadash,
Qadash,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Malakwafka,
Lamalawaka,
Taba'ah,
Tabah,
Ratazaka,
Watazaka,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Ba'arataza,
Barataza,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Bashamayam,
Bashamayam,
Natan Lanawa,
Tanyanawa,
Lakam,
Lakam,
Kal,
Kal,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Wasalak Lanawa,
Wasalak Nawa,
Kawawath Nawa,
Kabawat Nawa,
Kasalak Nawa,
Kasalak Nawa,
Kawawath Yanawa,
Kabawat Yanawa,
Wala'ah,
Wala'a,
Tabaya Anawa,
Tabaya Anawa,
Banasayawan,
Banasayawan,
Abab,
Abal,
Hawashai Nawa,
Hawashai Nawa,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Rai,
Rai,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Amalakwa,
Hamalakwa,
Wa'ala,
Wahala,
Wa'atapa'ara,
Wahatapa'ara,
La'ai Walam, Yam,
I Walanyam. In the English, Lord's Prayer, Our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name,
Thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom
thy
come,
will be done,
thy will be done,
in earth as it is in heaven.
in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts,
Forgive us our debts,
and we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into
And
temptation,
lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be
So
it.
be it. Prayer for power, Akak, first in the Hebrew. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Babakusha,
Babakashah,
Natan Lanawa,
Natanyanawa,
Hakak,
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 Larapa'a,
Larapa'ah,
Ka Makala,
Ka Makala,
Wakal Madawa,
Wakal Marawa,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Latahar,
Latahar,
Ha Matazariam,
Hamatazarium,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Lahakwayam,
Lahakuyam,
Ha Mathiam,
Hamatiyam,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Ilwakwa,
Al Wakaraf,
Hatama Allah,
Hatama'ala,
Lagarshan,
Lagarashan,
Bahasham,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
the water,
the water,
Aman.
Aman. The power in the English, Yahweh in the name of Yahushai.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushai,
Please give us the power.
please give us the power.
Power to heal all manner of sickness,
Power to heal all manner of sickness,
and all manner of disease.
and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean
To
spirits.
cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of
In the
Yahushai.
name of Yahushai,
Thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it. Psalms 121, first in the Hebrew, then in the English. Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Al-Haharya,
Al-Haharim,
Ma'ayan,
Ma'ayan,
Yaba'ah,
Yaba'ah,
Isaiah,
Azariah,
Isaiah,
Azariah,
Ma'aim,
Ma'aim,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shemayam,
Shamayam,
Wa'arataza,
Wa'arataza,
Al-Yatan,
Ayatan,
Lambawat,
Lamawat,
Regalka,
Regalka,
Yanawam, Al-Yanawam,
Al-Na Yanamam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Shawamar,
Shamarka,
Shawamar,
Shamamar,
Salaki. Skip it. Hana,
Hana,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yayashan,
Yayashan,
Shawamar,
Shamamar,
Yasharala,
Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al-Yad,
Al-Yad,
Yamyanka,
Yamyamka,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La'ayakaka,
La'ayakaka,
Wayirak,
Yoayirak,
Balayala,
Balayala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Makal Rai,
Makal Rai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Athnapashka,
Athnapaska,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Taza'aka,
Taza'aka,
Wabawa'aka,
Wabawa'aka,
Ma'aita,
Ma'aita,
Wa'aid Iwalam,
Wa'ai Iwalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes unto the
I
hill.
will lift up my eyes into the
From
hill.
whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help coming from the Lord,
My help coming from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy
The
keeper.
Lord is thy shade upon thy right
The
hand.
Lord is thy shade upon thy
The
right
sun shall
hand.
not smite thee by
The
day,
sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall not Shalakia. The Lord shall preserve thee from all
The
evil.
Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy
The
soul.
Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming
From
in.
this time forth,
From this time forth,
even forevermore.
even forevermore. All right. So blessings for the power structure. First in Hebrew. Barak,
Barak,
Atah,
Atah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Mayaka
Wa Mayaka'ala,
Wa Alahayim,
Wa Alahayim,
Matazabia Alawap Yahana,
Matazabia, Alawap Yahana,
Ha Alawapyum,
Ha Alawapyim,
Ha Saranium,
Ha Saranyim,
Ha Quatazayanyan,
Ha Quatazayanyim,
Ha Kayayayam,
Ha Kayayalyim,
Wa Ha Akwathian,
Wa Ha Akwatyim,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
the water,
the water.
Ahmad.
Blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angels,
Commander General Yohana,
Commander General
the
Yohana,
generals,
the general,
the captain,
the captain,
the officers,
the officers,
the troopers,
the troopers,
and the sisters.
and the sisters.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you so big.
thank you, so be it. Psalms 83, first in the Hebrew, then in the English. Alahayim,
Alhayim,
Al-Damaya Laka,
Al-Damayah Laka,
Al-Takarash,
Al-Takarash,
Wa Al-Tashakwat,
Al-Takasquat,
Al,
Al-Kayahana,
Kayahana, Awayabyaka,
Aywayabyaka,
Yahamayawan,
Yahamayawan,
Wamashanayaka,
Wamashanayaka,
Nasha'awa,
Nasha'awa,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al-Imaka,
Al-Imaka,
Ya'ariyamwa,
Ya'ariyamwa,
Sawad,
Sawad,
Waya Tayata, Waya Taya Aitazawa,
Waya Taya Aitazawa,
Al-Tazapanu, Al-Tazapawanyaka,
Al-Tazapawanyaka,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Laka, Wa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam,
Wanakakyadam,
Magaya,
Magaya,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yasharala,
Sham Yashrala,
Iwad,
Iwad,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawa Aitazawa,
Nawa Aitazawa,
La,
La,
Yakadwa,
Yakadwa,
Alika,
Al-Yaka,
Baya,
Bayat,
Yakaraswa,
Yakarathwa,
Ahalia,
Ahalia,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wayashima Al. Wayashima Alawam, Alayam,
Wa Yashama Alayam,
Mawa'aba,
Mawa'aba,
Wahagariam,
Wa Hagariam,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wa Imawan,
Wa Imawan,
Wa Imalak,
Wa Imalak,
Palasha,
Palashaf,
I'm Yashabia,
I'm Yashabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gam Ashawar,
Gam Ashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Zarawai,
Zarawai,
Labanya Lawat,
Labanya Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aishalaham,
Aishalaham,
Kamadian,
Kamadian,
Kasay, Kasayasara'a,
Kashaya Sa'ara.
Kayabyan,
Kayabyan.
Barakal,
Banakal.
Kwayashwan,
Kwayashwan.
Nashamadwa,
Nashamadwa.
Ba'ayan Da'ara,
Ba'ayan Da'ara.
Hayawa,
Hayawa.
Daman,
Daman.
La'adama,
La'adama.
Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa.
Nadayapmawa,
Nadayabmawa.
Ka'irab,
Ka'arab.
Waka Za'aba,
Waka Za'aba.
Waka Zabak,
Waka Zabak.
Waka Tazalmanai,
Waka Tazalmanai.
Ka Nasaya Kamwa,
Kal Nasaya Kamwa.
Ashar,
Ashar.
Amarwa,
Amarwa.
Nayarasha,
Naya Rasha.
Lanawa,
Lanawa.
Ah,
Ah.
Na'awa,
Na'awa.
Alahaya,
Alahaya.
Alahaya,
Alahaya.
Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa.
Kagalgala,
Kagalgala.
Kakwash,
Kakwash.
Lapanya Rakha,
Lapanya Rakha.
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash.
Taba'ira Ya'ira,
Taba'ira Ya'ira.
Wakalahaba,
Wakalahaba.
Talahat,
Talahat.
Hayam,
Hayam.
Khan,
Khan.
Daradakma,
Daradatma.
Basa Irika,
Basa Irika.
Wabasawapatka,
Wabasawapatka.
Tabahalam,
Tabahalam.
Mala'a,
Mala'a.
Panyaham,
Panyaham.
Kwalawan,
Kwalawan.
Wayabakwashwa,
Wayabakwashwa.
Shemka,
Shemka.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa.
Wayadaiwa,
Wayabahawa.
Kaya,
Wayadaiwa Kaya.
Ah,
Ta.
Ata, Shemka,
Shemka.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Labadka,
Labadka.
Al Yawan,
Ayawan.
Al Kaha Aratiza,
Al-Kal Ha'arataza. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace,
and be not still, O God.
and be not still, O
For
God.
lo, thy enemies make a tumult,
For lo, thine enemies make a
and
tumult,
they have hate thee, have lifted up the head.
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
consulted against thy hidden ones.
consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
come and let us cut them off from being a nation,
come and let us cut them off from being a
that
nation,
the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee,
Tabernacles of Edom,
the tabernacles of Edom,
and the Israelites,
and the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
Philistines,
the
with
Philistines,
the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Assur also has joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have
Salah.
hope. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
and to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kisan,
at the brook of Kisan,
which perished at Endor,
which perished at Endor,
became as dung for the earth.
which came as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like Oreb,
and like Zeb,
and like Zeb,
yea,
yea,
all their princes as Zabah,
and all their princes as Zabah,
and as Zalmunna,
and as Zalmunna,
who said,
who said,
let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel,
as a stubble before the wind,
as a stubble before the
as
wind,
the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame sets the mountains on fire.
and as the flame setteth the mountains on
So
fire.
persecute them with thy
So
tempest,
persecute them with thy
and make
tempest,
them afraid with with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy
Fill
storms.
their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with
That they
shame.
may seek thy name, O Lord.
That they may seek thy name, O
Let them
Lord.
be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
In trouble forever.
And trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
That men may know that thou,
That men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
art the most high over all the earth. All right, bless Israel. First in the Hebrew, then in English. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wa Yasharala.
Wa Yasharala.
Wahabayat Zapariam.
Wahabayat Saparim.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'ah.
Rapa'ah.
Magan.
Magan.
Hagan.
Hagan.
Bahashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
The water.
The water.
Aman.
Aman. Bless Israel in the English. Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai.
Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth,
and all things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of Yahweh
In the
Shai,
name of Yahweh Shai.
listen to us now,
Listen to us now.
right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses.
and punishment and
And
destruction
punishment and destruction.
to the heathen
To the heathen.
that speak against
That
us,
speak against us.
thy prophets,
Thy prophets.
the teachers,
The teachers.
the princes,
The princes.
the priests,
The priests.
the Israelite brothers,
Israelite brothers.
and the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses.
and punishment and
And
destruction
punishment and destruction.
to the
To
heathen,
the heathen.
and shake loose
And shake loose
the treasure of the rich of Israel.
the treasure of the rich of Israel.
They refuse to give to the
They
school.
refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches
Force their riches.
into thy sanctuary.
Enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses
Send evils and curses.
and punishment and destruction
Punishment and destruction
to the Edomites
to the Edomites
and the nations
and the nations
and their drug dealers,
and their drug dealers.
the court system,
Court system.
prison system,
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood.
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments. of our
Amalek
enemies.
synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and
Roman
armies.
Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church.
the Pope,
The Pope.
Islam,
Islam.
Christianity,
Christianity.
Egyptology,
Egyptology.
militia,
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation.
skinheads,
Skinhead.
posse comitatus,
Posse Comitatus.
the gay movement,
The gay
the
movement.
lesbian,
The lesbian movement.
spies,
Spies.
workers of
Workers
witchcraft,
of witchcraft.
NASA space program,
National Space Program.
Army,
Army.
Navy,
Navy.
Air Force,
Air Force.
Marines,
Marines.
Wall Street,
Wall Street.
open up the internet,
Open up the internet.
and the airwaves,
And the airwaves.
the cable access channels,
Cable access.
and the
channels.
radio channels.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit
Convict the spirit
of any of thy people
of any of thy people
that seek to stop us
that seek to stop us
and bring swift
and
destruction
bring swift destruction
to all the heathens
all the heathen
that stand in our
that
way
stand in our way
or try to stop
or
us
try to stop us
from broadcasting your
from
words
broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and fro
throughout the earth
throughout the earth.
and consume them.
Consume them.
Let the plagues
Let the plagues
shake the house
shake the house
of the thief and the murderer.
of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahweh Shai,
Let Yahweh Shai,
Michael,
Michael,
Gabriel
and Gabriel
come down with the flying
come
saucer
down with the flying saucer
and punish all the
and
heathens
punish all the heathens
that come up against
that
us
come against us
as we speak thy
as
word.
we speak thy word.
Cause it to be
Cause
known
it to be known
by all
by all
that it is the angels that have
that
done
is
it.
the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread
Cause it to be spread
through the media
through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh
In the
Shai.
name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
Sar, which means turn. All right. Yeshabim means sick. So, check. All right. So what we gonna do today is we still in the book of Genesis, right? All right. Let's double check something. Make sure I got it right. All right, so we're going to start in the third chapter of Genesis. And we're going to start at the first verse. Right? And it goes as follows. Wahanakash. Haya. Irawam. Makal. Chayath. Hashadah. Ashar. Aisha. Yahweh. Alahayim. Waya Amar. Al. Ha'asha. Apa. Kaya. Amar. Alahayim. La'a. Akalwa. Makal, Aitiza, Hagun, verse 2. Watha Amar, Ha'asha, Al. Hanachash, Maparia, Aitiza, Hagun, Na'akal, verse 3. Wamaparia, Ha'aitiza, Ashar, Bathawak, Hagun, Amar, Alahayim, Al, Ta'akalwa, Mamanwa, Wala'a, the Gaiwa, Pana, the Mathawan, Verse 4. Waya Amar. Hanakash. Al. Ha'asha. La'a. Mawath. The Matha one. Verse 5. Kaya. Yadai. Alahayim. Kaya. Bayawam. Wukalukam. Mamanwa. Wanapa Kwikha wa Ayanayakam. Wahayayatam. Kwa Alhayam. Yadaya. Tawab. Warai. Verse 6. Wathara'a. Ha'asha. Kaya. Tawab. Ha'aitaza. Lama'akal. Wakaya. Wakaya. The awa. Hawa'a. Lama akal. Wakaya. The awa. Hawa'a. La'ayanyam. Wana Hamad. Ha'arataza. Watha Quack. Yeah, Watha Quack. Maparyan. Watha Akal. Maparyan. Watha Akal. Wathathan. Gam. La'ayash. La'ayasha. Aima. Waya Akal. Verse 7. Watapa Kwakana. Ayanya. Shana Yaham. Waya the Iowa. Kaya. Ayaramam. Ham. What? Waya Hapawa. Ayla. Ta'ana. Waya Aisha. Laham. Chagarath.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtile than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it.
All right, so. All right. We see that, you know what I mean, the Most High God, you know what I mean, it is, he's given his commandment, right? He's given a commandment to his servant, right? And for those who don't really know or understand, Adam was not the first man created. Adam was the first man to do the will of the Most High God, right? And it's talking about this serpent, right, who was more subtle. And so what he did was He went to the woman. He didn't go to Adam. He went to his rib. He went to the weaker vessel to try to convince her, right? To try to attack from that angle, right? Most people who get into a fight, who get into a disagreement, who want to cause harm to another, right? They do not attack them where they are strong, right? They attack them in their areas of weakness, right? And so, since the serpent knew that, Eve was weak, that woman was weak, and he wasn't gonna be able to get that off on the man, he went to her, right?
All
right. You got anything on that? If not, keep going.
Neither shall ye touch it, lest you die.
All right. This is the commandment from the Most High God. Right. Most High God was explaining exactly what was going to happen to the man and the woman, and so he actually explained it just to Adam, right? And in this scripture, right, it shows that Adam, what he did after he got the commandment from the Most High God, he taught his rib, right? Because she was by herself, and even she knew what the Most High God had said, right? This was the Most High God's commandment, right? And if you actually understand it, right, and actually know how to read it, this commandment is still in effect today, right? The Most High God was telling his chosen people, right, and in this case, in this original case, it was Adam and Eve, not to partake of the cultures of other people.
Right.
Right. And that has been our problem, like since the days of Adam and Eve. We always want to do what everybody else does, but that's not for us. That's not what we're supposed to do, right? That is Eve falling in the garden, right? It's her following a culture that does not belong to her, that is not her own.
Right.
Right. All right. Keep going. Or if you got anything.
Right, because when we follow these other cultures and belief systems of these nations, man, it does nothing but stop us from following the law, statutes, and commandments, man. And right here where it says, if you even touch it, lest ye die. You know what I'm saying? You are headed for destruction when you do these things, man. Plain and simple. Verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
Right. So this serpent, of course, it said he was the most subtle beast of the field, right? This serpent, right? The spirit that is carried on in our oppressor to this day, right, will use words and manipulate meanings, right? When he was saying it to her, he was basically saying, "You're not going to drop dead right here,"
Right.
Right. But what he understood that Eve did not understand is that when the Most High was talking about death and talking about dying, it meant separation from the Most High. It meant, as it's later said in the metaphor, being kicked out of the garden, right? It's meant death. Listen, get your. It's Baruch 4:1, right? Because death is not that you stop being conscious, walking around doing things. That's not death, right? Let's read what the scriptures say that life and death are. Because what she thought, she as we do in the world, she thought carnally, right? when that order was not given for a carnal reason. That order was given for a spiritual reason, right? You got that?
Kind.
Go ahead.
Luke chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
Right.
And the law that endureth forever.
Keep reading.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
Come to what?
Life.
Come to what?
Life.
So when Adam received the breath of life, he received the law, statutes, commandments of Most High God. That is when he came to life. Keep reading.
But such as leave it.
So when Eve had been taught the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, and she decided to listen to the serpent instead of listening to her husband, what happened? Keep reading.
Shall die.
That's what the serpent said would not happen. But that's exactly what happens when you walk up outside the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. You die.
Damn right.
A physical death is trivial, right? A physical death is only, it hurts those who are who love you and are close to you, right? And let's not take that away from that, right? But in all honesty, a physical death is nothing. That spiritual death, being cast away from the Most High God, that is much worse than a physical death, especially because we understand the truth in that, a physical death is just starting the waiting period for the next time you get here, right? Because that's how life is. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? That's why we say, after a person passes, may they rise again. Because we know that it's an opportunity for them to come back and to get it right. So a physical death is not necessarily, finite. It's not necessarily final. But when the Most High God has spiritually killed you, has ended your spirit, has destroyed your spirit. That's it. That's all. That's in the story, right? So she didn't understand what dying meant, and the serpent used that. He knew that she wouldn't understand, and this is why we don't have our women make decisions for our nation, right? Because they were not made for that purpose, right? And this is why, because Eve was the first woman in the truth. Right? The first woman ever given the truth straight from the first prophet of the Most High God. And she still couldn't follow that simple order of just don't do what they doing. She had to do what she wanted to do. And as a woman, right, we should not expect them to completely abandon all emotion, right? Yes, women are not supposed to be emotional all the damn time. You're supposed to have some goddamn logic and sense to yourself, right? You're supposed to be able to think beyond your emotion every once in a goddamn while. For a woman, right? But as for a man, it's the exact opposite. Oh, only once in a while should you ever even think emotionally. There's nothing wrong with having emotions. There's nothing wrong with expressing your emotions, in the correct way. Right. But as a man, we are to think logically. Even when we are getting emotional, it is our duty to rein ourselves back in with logic, rein ourselves back in with reason and rationale. Right? This is why she's not allowed to lead the nation, because she's not expected to do that. And Eve is showing exactly why, because she can't simply understand, right? The simple, basic, she got an order. Now, you got an order to do this one thing, to not do this one thing. You can do everything else, just don't do this. Just don't do this one thing. And she couldn't even follow that order, right? So keep reading.
All right. For God doth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
See, he is tempting her with power, right? And that is something that I don't know too many people who don't want, right? But when somebody is tempted with power and they are not capable of thinking logically, and they are only capable of thinking emotionally and what feels right and what feels good, you are going to fall for the trap every time. You're going to walk right in it. Right? This is why men were placed above women, because the Most High God created women to be emotional. He created them to be overly caring and to still have some logic, and he created men to be logical and still have some emotion. Right? We're opposites, right? And that's why, as the Most High said it, we need women. We need a helpmeet, right? We need that other part. But it's not for her to make those decisions, right? Because she will be tempted by the power. It's like those videos I was talking about, where them TikToks and all that stuff that's going viral nowadays. That's talking about, would you do this for $1 million? Would you do this for? And I seen a couple brothers on there. It was, would you be gay for $1 million? Each and every one of them nakers sold out because they were raised by their mothers. And they think like a woman. They think emotionally, not logically. They think with their feelings and not with rationale. Right? And we see what happens when a woman does that and then trains up her male children to do the same thing. Right? This is, and it said, of course, in the verse above, it said, you shall surely die. Look in every black, Hispanic, and Native American neighborhood. You are looking at the Walking Dead. You are looking at death all around you. But we don't understand the difference. We don't understand the difference between a physical death and a carnal death. I mean, a physical death and a spiritual death, right? And when you tempt our women with power, as our oppressor did, just like the snake in the garden did, she will try to take it. She will do her damnedest to take that power, right? The so-called black woman, so-called Hispanic woman, so-called Native American woman run our communities. So just like when Eve was tempted with that power and she wanted it and she took it, our women today do the same exact thing. That's the problem with Will Smith. His rib took that power and he don't got none of it. That man was chuckling and laughing. It's like I saw a video on TikTok of Jada Pinkett talking about how, now this was, I don't know if it was months ago or years ago, whatnot, talking about how she loved her, anybody can say anything they want to about her hair because she loves her bald head.
Good night.
Now, I don't, listen, here's the thing. You know what I mean? It says if you got alopecia, right, and that's the lengths that you need to go to, and you need to keep it low, you need to keep it cut. You know, I'm with you, sis. That's fine. You know what I mean? But you gonna come and smack? You gonna have your husband come and smack a brother over this? Like, you demean a whole man. Everybody saw it. Will Smith was laughing at the joke. He thought it was funny. Jada is the one that had the problem. Why? Why did she need Will to go and do what he did? Because she needed to assert her power, her authority. Will thought it was funny. Will went up there and slapped Chris Rock because he has submitted to the power of his rib, to the power of his Slakia, to the power of that whore that he lives with.
Damn right.
It was his rib at one point. It was his wife at one point. But he has submitted to the power of that whore who he lives with. This is what Eve was promised in the garden. And this is why she took that. She took that deal because she was promised that power. She was promised to get child support as long as she kept that man out the house. She was promised to get food stamp and WIC as long as that man had no power and she controlled all power in the house.
Right.
It's the same offer that the serpent gave to Eve is the same offer our oppressor gives to our women now, and they take it just the same as Eve did.
Con.
You got anything?
Con, right here in verse 5 where it says, knowing good and evil. You know, knowing is, you know what I'm saying, learning the laws of the Most High. And the evil is the punishments of the Most High. Once you learn them laws, you fall under the punishment. You understand me? And it's the same as this coincides with you letting your woman, the Lord letting your woman not rule over you, having control over you. You know, that's all out of whack. That's not what the Most High prescribed for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, his chosen people, man. And so you're going to be punished. You learned that law, and then you join these other nations and their philosophies and their traditions and what their women doing to them, and you let your woman do it to you. You fall under God's punishments, man. You know what I'm saying?
And one more thing, right? It's actually mentioned twice before, but it's only referring to this tree, right?
Right.
Every other thing in the scriptures, when the Most High created it, was always, this is good, this is good, this is good. This is the first thing that is ever mentioned as being evil. And why is it evil? It is evil because the Most High God told you not to do it.
Right.
Plain and simple. Like, you know, there's no other explanation or reason needed. The Most High God said it, so that's what it is.
Damn right.
Everything. Look, we know that the trees in the garden were other nations and other cultures. There were other cultures in the garden besides this one.
And
they were fine. You could go to those cultures. You could see what they're doing. You could do what they're doing because they were fine. It's just this one. Leave this one alone. He said all of the trees in the garden are good for food, except the one in the middle of the garden.
Damn right.
Don't deal with this one. It's evil because it's violating our Father's laws, violating what our Father has told for us to do. Right? The long and short of every sin is this. You are spitting in the face of the Most High God because he told you not to do it and you choose to do it anyway. That's what every sin is. When you hate your brother, you are spitting in the face of the Most High God because he told you to love him. If he didn't tell you to love him, there's no problem. But he told you specifically, no, do this. And you're doing the opposite. Right? That is where our problem comes in. Being rebellious. That's where sin is. Rebelliousness is sin. Rebellion, if I'm not mistaken, as the scripture says, rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft. You bucking up against, you're a sorcerer. You're a witch. Right? And Eve, in this case, is being a witch. Our women in our communities are witches. Because they rebel against the Most High God.
So, Lockie,
go ahead.
What you bringing out so heavy, that rebellion, you know, she went against what she was taught. Mm-hmm. She was went against the law, statutes, and commandments. Mm-hmm. And unleashed these punishments from the Most High, like in verse 6. You know what I'm saying? It says that when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And right here in verse 7 it says, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. When it says they knew that they were naked, that means they changed their culture. That was it right there. You understand? They changed their culture. That's the same thing with Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, man.
Yeah, right.
They changed their culture, man.
Yeah,
They following behind the oppressor.
Salakia, they changed the status of their marriage. They went from married to open relationship. You know what I mean? They changed the very nature of their entire living situation. And like it was said up above, you know what I mean, when it said in 6, when it said that the woman thought it was good.
Yeah.
Right? What she go do? She saw that she could get power out of this, and what she go do? Go convince her man to follow along right after him. And Adam being weak to his woman, because that's what it is. He was being weak to his woman. He followed her right off the path. He followed her right away from the Most High God. And it would be easier to forgive Adam if this was literally talking about fruit. If this was literally talking about something from a tree, because he might not have known. He might have been convinced that, okay, she didn't really. No, he partook in this other culture that he knew was not his. Right. He knew the Most High did not give him, and he knew the Most High told him to stay away from. But he still partook in that culture because his woman told him to. Right. Again, back to the most relevant topic of today. Will Smith did the exact same thing. Will Smith actually used to be about something. He actually used to be a goddamn man. But he fell in love with that woman, and she drug him off the path. Now, he is a bully picking on victims of his own people.
That's right.
He is a horrible individual. And all that happened on that Oscar night was that he showed that character that she had drug out of him. That she had drug him to. Now he's there. He is willing to Chris Rock is one of. Listen, I didn't need Chris Rock to tell me that he was abused. You can look at Chris Rock and tell that he was abused. There's no comedian who hasn't suffered through some sort of trauma, right? And especially when Chris, of course, is not a very imposing black man. He is a very small man. Right. He grew up in a rough area, but then went to schools with our oppressor, and we know how disgusting and vile that our oppressor is, especially when he was a child.
That's right.
Back in the what was that, the 70s, 80s?
Kind.
Like they had no bounds. There was no bars. Like at least now we got cameras and we can record this shit. Then there was nothing that he could do. So even without him saying it, you know he was abused. And that's the man you go slap. Not August Alsina. He ain't raised a finger to him.
Right.
August Alsina walked in the house and he said, "You know what? Go ahead and fuck her. Go ahead and have her." Chris Rock say a joke about something that Jada Pinkett Smith said that you can say whatever you want to about it. She said it. She said you can say whatever you want about her bald head. But he got to go smack him.
Right.
Why? Because Will Smith knew that when he submitted to his woman, he gave up his manhood.
Damn right.
And he was desperately looking for a way to try to find how to get that back. He saw that his woman was ruling over him. He saw that his son was a faggot. Like, he saw that his daughter loved women. He saw these things, and he didn't know how to get it back. So what he did was he went and found a brother that he felt was weaker than he was. And the truth be told, Chris Rock is so much stronger than Will Smith. It's ridiculous. Bro, Chris Rock decided in that moment while being attacked to let his brother get a pass.
Right.
He balled his fist. He was ready to throw back. He was abused. He was small, but he from Jersey. I know he throw them hands.
Right.
Like, he might not win, but he gonna throw them.
Right.
But he let his brother walk and stuck his hands right back behind his back and just said, "Wow." right? Like in that moment, he let that woman destroy everything that he had built for himself. The entire reputation of Will Smith is gone, obliterated in that moment.
Damn right.
And what happened with Adam? Everything he had was stripped from him because he listened to that woman.
Damn right.
He listened to that woman in that one moment, and everything he had was gone. Keep reading. Finish that verse up. 7.
And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
Now, these fig leaves or whatever, again, this is all a metaphor. They were naked, or in other words, stripped of their culture. They sewed fig leaves together. What are fig leaves? Figs. First off, whenever the Most High is talking about his chosen people, it's generally olives, right? He sewed fig leaves. They sewed fig leaves together, which is basically they took a covering from other nations. They took coverings. They took something from another nation and made it their covering. This was not their natural covering. They wasn't really literally walking around in the garden butt naked, right? What happened was they had lost their covering, so they took a covering from another nation. And it wasn't even a whole covering from that other nation. They had to patch things together. They had to take small parts from other nations. That's why it's just the leaves. So they took the fig leaves or small parts from other nations and sewed them together. And that is what they used as their covering, right? That is what they used as their protection, right?
Damn right.
Back to the reference that we're using, right? This whole open relationship, this whole lifestyle. Listen, once you outside of the laws of the Most High God, you gotta sew together and piece together and parcel together all these things from other nations to try to create something that's yours, right? When the Most High God has already given you something.
Damn right.
Right. And, did you have anything else you want to add?
You got it.
All right. And so with that, I see we are at the time. So with that, Shalom, Israel.